wait for the signal to come live, guys. Are you there? I have to lay down because I have really awful Wi-Fi in my house. So please excuse me for laying on my sofa as I talk to you. But I don't want it to cut off. As soon as I get the signal, I will begin talking about the topic today that I really wish to address. So I was just scrolling this morning in bed on my phone, on my newsfeed on Facebook, and came across an article on the Sun newspaper about why men do not want to date single women or single parents who are women. Don't know if it works the same way around for females not wanting to date single fathers, but this particular news story was actually about men not wanting to date single mothers. They say there are 2 million single mothers or single parents in the UK. The majority of them are women who have children and live by themselves. I am one of these women. It's something that actually really got to me because it was really close to my heart. I have been a single mother for, well, it started at the age of 19 when I actually have a hormone imbalance, which I was unaware of, and it meant that contraception did not work for me. So halfway through a pregnancy, when I discovered I was pregnant, the father at the time said, no, I'm too young, I don't want to be a dad, so enjoy raising a baby alone. Being halfway through a pregnancy, I didn't have the choice of abortion. And I think at that age, that's probably something that I may have considered, but as an adult, definitely wouldn't ever have crossed my mind. But that choice was taken away from me. I was too far in my pregnancy to be able to say, I won't have this baby. So I had the decision made for me that I would just be a single parent. There was nothing I could do about that. And it was not something that I would have planned, given the choice. I'd always want to bring a child into the world in a loving family, in a secure marriage and a career that it gives you the security to be able to support your children. As a result, I worked 3 jobs to be able to support my daughter and I. I then met my fiance a few months after giving birth, actually, when I really wasn't expecting anybody to even give me a second glance. All of my focus and attention was on raising my beautiful daughter. I was so happy to have her in my life. I felt so fortunate. I love being a mother. I worked hard to buy everything that I never had. And it was something that I really grew up overnight. So when somebody then came into my life, went out of their way to say, you have a child by someone else, but it's okay, I don't mind, I still want to be with you, I was really shocked because I thought, I went from being a young, carefree girl into a mother, a responsible adult overnight. It just changed so quickly for me. I was actually a page 3 model at the age of 18. So having a baby at 19, again, was a big shock for me. I went from being very, very skinny and slim, almost anorexic, to then not overweight, but actually more human looking. My ribs no longer showed, but I did love fitness. I ate a healthy, clean diet. Rather than having peroxide blonde hair, I had brown hair. So my appearance changed and my focus in life changed. I wanted to do everything to support and love my daughter rather than to put my own interests first. My fiance at the time then said, I want to have a son. I'm desperate for a baby. We'd been together for 6 years. We were engaged. We were living together. So I truly believed that, I had settled down with somebody that wanted a family and I could choose to have a pregnancy. The way that it came about is that I actually had a miscarriage without knowing. I was at work and in a lot of pain. I went to the doctor and he said, you're miscarrying. And it was a pregnancy that I did not know. And I was on the pill at the time. Again, this is before I found out about my hormone imbalance. So when we discovered that I'd lost a baby, or was losing a baby, we then decided we would like to have another child. So we had our son. Just after he was born, my fiance left. And I guess what happens sometimes, people really think that they want something. You have these ideals that you see in the media where you think, everyone looks so happy, a perfect family with children and a dog and everything. And everyone says, yes, I'd like a mini me in life. I'd like to have a child that I can teach and love and do everything with. And, I fully support that. But equally, when that situation arises, it really is a testing time. It's something where you have to say, I will go without food, I will go without sleep, I will put somebody else's wants and needs and desires above that of myself and my own. And some people actually aren't capable of that when it happens. I continue to love being a mum. I love having 2 children. I would have 100 children if I could. But equally, I would want it to be in a time where it's right and it's safe and there is a future in it. I don't want to be a single parent. I want more for my children. I want somebody that loves them as much as I do. So I would not be selfish in the fact of having children for the sake of having children. I didn't think that my fiance would leave, but he did, and lives a life that he chooses to live. Isn't the kind of father that he thought he would be, but you only really figure that out once you kind of find yourself in that situation. You have to cross that bridge to come to it, if that makes sense. So I just said to him, you know, some people are natural parents, other people actually struggle to be parents, and that's not a criticism. You know, I didn't have any kind of positivity towards children before I became a mum. I didn't want to be a mother. I didn't want to hold babies. I was nervous about, you know, doing something wrong. I had no kind of incentive to want to be around small children. But then when I became a mother, something just switched on inside of me. And the love that I felt was just incredible. It's unlike anything I've ever had. It's true love, and it's unconditional, and it's just so pure and wonderful. And if you ever experience something in life like that, I think you can only really get that from animals and children. So then I found myself again at the age of 25, a single mother. So at the age of 19 and 25, when I had both of my children, immediately I became a single parent. And I think that is a shift in relationships as well. It's not just the fact that you have a new baby around, but it's also that as adults, when you have a child around, you don't have as much us time together. You know, you can't snuggle up and watch a film on the sofa because the baby's crying or needs feeding, or you have to be quiet. You can't just go away on holiday because who has the baby? When you go shopping, you have to take so much equipment with you. Nappy bags, pushchairs, everything becomes about somebody else apart from the two of you. So I can understand why relationships do dissolve after children are born. But equally, I think if a relationship is true and is right, and it's the right person to have a family with, then those obstacles will not end you. And a family can still continue to love and be loving when a new baby comes along. I think it's a way to test a relationship in the sense that, you know, if it's meant to be, it will be. And whether you get sick, whether you have a child, an accident, an illness, a relative needs your help, if you are a strong, good, loving couple, you will survive anything that life throws at you. So being a single parent, that wasn't my choice. And it's not something that I would recommend to others. But equally, I am very thankful for being a single parent. It's taught me to have patience and love, positivity, strength. I never knew that I was capable of supporting a family by myself, raising a family by myself, being there through thick and thin. Even when I've been at my weakest, I still put my children first. And it's taught me so many life lessons that I personally wouldn't have had if I hadn't been a single parent. Now, somebody actually close to me, I won't say who, asked me for relationship advice. Signal's gone. Sorry, guys, I'm trying not to move. Somebody very close to me asked me for relationship advice after splitting up with his girlfriend. His girlfriend was younger than him, and he said to me, where am I going wrong? Why am I not meeting decent girls? And I said to him, you are dating single, self-obsessed girls that are far younger than you. Why don't you date somebody your own age? Why don't you date somebody who has children? And he said to me, I don't want to date anybody that's had a child. And it really upset me. Moran says, how about your boyfriend, Freddie? Yes, I'm getting on to Freddie, my darling, because I'm now very happy in a relationship. But yeah, I gave advice to this person and said, why don't you date a single mum? They're respectable, they're responsible, they're loyal, and they put others above themselves. So you know that this person will be kind to you, will be considerate, have patience, and is committed to relationships. They're not out partying 24/7. They're not trying to play different people at the same time. They're not cheating. They're not liars. You know, I can't speak for everybody, but I can say in general, mothers have more responsibility and more contentment in life than those who are single parents still partying, those who are single still partying, not parents. And he actually said, no, I don't want somebody that has a child that isn't mine. I don't want somebody who has had kids and probably has stretch marks and doesn't look their best. I want somebody who is young and attractive and has no responsibility or a care in the world. But I said, these are the girls that cheat on you. These are the girls that use you. Why would you go for people like that? And he just would not see past it. And so that really upset me. And I thought, you know me as a single mum. You know that I lead the life that I want to lead. I put my children first. I take care of myself. I'm healthy. I go on adventures. I'm a fun-loving person. Why would you not want to be with somebody similar? So I'm just going to read a comment because somebody has said, this has drafted me into a direct response to your story. I hear the writer in you through your dictation and your insight. Thank you. Yes, please leave your comments, guys, on what you think about this. I will continue to come back to them. I'm trying not to go off track as I explain this. So yeah, it really upset me, and I just thought, you are shutting so many doors. He is at an age when the majority of women that he is going to meet, his own age, probably have had children or would like to have children. And the way that he sees it is that he wants to be the first person to have a child with someone. He doesn't want somebody that has baggage, and that's a very big word. And so instead he goes for young girls that use him, cheat on him, and date other guys at the same time. So, you know, it's at any age, anyone can do that, men or women. I'm not saying that it's all women that do this or all men. Equally, you know, I've never dated a single dad, just because I've never met a single dad, which is really bizarre in this day and age. It seems to be lots of single mums, but I've never actually dated a single dad before. Not to say that I wouldn't have done. It's just, it's never come about really. So I then stayed single for 6 years after having my second child. And the reason I did that is because I felt so hurt. I actually believed that what I was looking for in life as a partner for myself wasn't the same as what I needed for my children. So the kind of man that I wanted to date was somebody who was adventurous, outgoing, into fitness, had a sense of humour. Jessie says, I'm a single dad. Good for you, Jessie. I wanted somebody who shared my same kind of opinions and an interest and excitement in life. And I didn't think that personally that would be the same thing as what a father would possess. So in a father, I would see somebody that would be safe, secure, thoughtful, committed. You know, I didn't think it would be somebody that would be obsessed with how they look. I didn't think it would be somebody that would spend 24/7 in the gym. So it had these kind of conflicting attributes between a partner that I was attracted to and a partner that I felt safe with. Because somebody I found attractive, I didn't feel safe that they would stick around and stay committed. But then somebody I found would be committed to me, I didn't feel would share the same excitement and interest in life. So I spent 6 years dating for myself, dating somebody that I had no intention of bringing home to my children. I would keep my life separate from my children when they would see relatives. Then I would go for dinner with a boyfriend. Equally, I wouldn't bring them around my children. I had no incentive to ever say, I'm going to introduce you to my children, or I think we should be a family, because I myself as a person wanted to understand what I needed in life. I love being a mum, but then equally I was still a woman. I still am a woman. I'm still an individual. And I think when you become a parent, you do lose your I don't even know what you call it, your identity. You lose the fact that you have your own life outside of parenting. My life is very much my children and the gym, and that's where I really find a release. I obviously can't take my children to the gym because it's an adult-only zone, but when they're at school, it's where I go to kind of have a bit of me time. And I wanted somebody that shared my same loves and interests in life, but equally, I wanted somebody that would love being a parent. So I've actually found a partner that I'm in a relationship with who is not a father himself, but actually treats my children like they're his own. And that's something very difficult to take on, considering that the children I have, their fathers couldn't be parents to them. They couldn't find it in their hearts to want to raise their children. I have met somebody after 30 years of being alive that will take on other people's children and treat them with love and respect and kindness and just everything I wish a father could be, he is. We don't have children together, but I know that someday he will make an amazing father, and it's something that I am open to having children with him, but it's something that equally I would not rush. So I think when men say in news articles that they would not date a single mum, I think it's very disrespectful. And their reasons that they give is that it's more expensive to date a single mum because you have children there. So if you want to go for lunch, you bring the children along, you have the extra cost of paying for children to eat. Is that down to a new boyfriend to pay for a mother and her children to have lunch? I don't know. I always pay 50-50. I pay half. I wouldn't expect anybody to pay for me, let alone pay for my children. But, is that something that men should do? I think that's down to the individual. Jessie says, I know the feeling. You need to be around a person. You want to be around my kids. I've been on my own for 3 years. It's hard to find someone who I can trust and be around my kids. Absolutely. And that's why I kept it separate until I knew in my heart that this was a person that would be right for my family. Jason says, my family looked down on the prospect of dating girls who are single mothers because of the complications of sharing parental obligations with the person I was dating, the biological father, and they're still involved. By dating, I'm not defending that belief, but rather demonstrating that stigma that is still there in these cases. I'm not against dating single mothers. Congratulations on Freddie. Thank you. And I agree, you have this whole thing of maybe the fathers are still in the mother's life. Maybe they're still there constantly, where you would be in a relationship with someone and their exes wouldn't be around. Equally, I'm not in constant contact with my exes. They are very much in the past, and it's something that I said, no hard feelings. You don't want to be in our lives. That's fine. Then I hope you have a happy life elsewhere with somebody and someone, and perhaps a family that does make you happy. You can't expect to be somebody's everything for their entire life. And what makes you happy when you're 18 or 22 will not make you happy when you're 40. People change, people grow up, and they grow apart. So I fully understand that who you meet in your youth is not who you will always be with for the rest of your life. Gello says, someday if I found someone like you as a single mum, I will love her with all of my heart. Oh, thank you. That's so lovely. But that's what I mean, guys. I think you should never close a door on someone simply because of their circumstances in life. In my opinion, it doesn't matter what somebody earns, what they look like, what job they do, what their past entails. It's who they are today. And they could go through so much to be the person that they are now. And that's only a good thing. The more you experience, the more you learn. And the more you grow as a person, the more capable and responsible that you become. You can't just click your fingers and be like the perfect partner without having gone through bad relationships that teach you otherwise. And equally, I think you could be madly in love with somebody, have a child with them, and realise that they are horrendous as a parent, that they're so selfish and self-centred and cruel and unkind. And that only becomes apparent when they don't have your full attention and you can't put them first. Would you rather know that that person's like that? And would you stay with them for being that way? Would you have patience? Would you have understanding? Or ultimately, would you say this person is not cut out for a family and move on and find somebody who is? Another reason that these people in the media gave for not wanting to date single parents was saying that after a woman's had a baby, her body isn't what it was. She isn't in the best shape of her life. She doesn't look as attractive. She'll have stretch marks and scars. She'll let herself go, effectively. I'd like to say I've had 2 children and I'm probably in a fairly good condition. I have tattoos all over my body. I go to the gym 5 to 6 days per week. I love fitness. I love fashion. Yes, I am very much a tomboy. You know, I'm not a girly girl. Oh, sorry guys, my phone's spinning around. I'm not a girly girl who is caked in makeup and, you know, obsessed with how I look. I'm very much a homebody. I am barefoot all the time. I wrestle with my children. We build forts in the forests. We have a very humble, healthy, homely life, and I really do appreciate and respect that. I wouldn't say that at the age of 30, having 2 children, that I've let myself go. Sorry, my phone is spinning around, guys. I don't know what's going on here. But equally, somebody that you meet in their teens or early 20s is not going to have the same body in their 30s, 40s or 50s. It takes a lot to maintain a body. And it's actually down to the individual what size and shape they want to be. Does it bring you more happiness to watch what you eat and maintain a body? Or does it bring you more happiness to have a takeaway, have a bottle of wine, eat the food that you love, be sociable? You know, it's down to your daily quality of life and what brings you true happiness. For me, being vegan and being a personal trainer, it brings me happiness to look and feel good. And when I say look good, it doesn't matter what size I am. It matters how I feel about my daily life. The fact that I can eat the food I enjoy, I can work out and push my body to my limits. I can achieve goals, run marathons, climb mountains. That brings me happiness. Has being a parent stopped me from doing that? Definitely not. I can do and live how I want to live, regardless of the fact that I have children, with my children. The wonderful thing is I get to motivate and inspire them. I get to teach them about life, about loving and kindness and helping others and being considerate and being selfless. And that's something very beautiful that I wouldn't have if I wasn't a mother. And when I met my partner, Freddie, you know, I didn't think that he would be any different to anyone else. I didn't think that he would accept that I have 2 children by 2 different fathers. And I think that is something that really hurt me as a woman, that I didn't want to have a broken family, let alone children who are half siblings or step siblings. You know, I wanted to be able to say, I've had a family with the man of my dreams, and we are here and we will always be here for our children. But I couldn't achieve that, and I felt like I'd done something wrong because of that. Arthur says, I don't understand men who won't be a part of children. They help bring them into this world. I thought my wife was never more beautiful than when she was pregnant. My wife is still the most beautiful woman in the world to me. Arthur, that is amazing. And it's something that I really struggled to understand, how you could want children so badly, how you could plan to have a child, but then when your child is born, to say, this isn't for me. And you know what, equally, I think that's a very, very big thing to say. To be able to say, I want to be a parent, I want to be a mother, I want to be a father. But then to say, I struggle with this. It doesn't come naturally. I can't do this. I'm not good at this. You know, to accept that is a big thing. And to walk away from a family is a big thing. And, you know, hand on heart, I don't think anybody truly walks away from a family on a whim. They don't just say, this is the easy way out, I'm going to do this and never look back. I think it hurts them a lot. I think when they see other families that are happy, they feel like they've failed. And, you know, they have to live with the choices they have made to walk out and to not be in a child's life. And I think no human can be on this earth without having some sense of guilt and some sense of sadness for what they've done wrong. And I think whether that hits them immediately or many years down the line, it will hit them and they will realise what they have lost in life. And I don't think anybody gets out guilt-free from breaking up a family or walking out on a child. You know, equally, being the person to pick up the pieces, being the mother that's left with children who say, where's daddy? Why do my friends have a family and I don't? Why have they got a mummy and a daddy? Why have they got parents? Why do they have Father's Day with their daddies? You know, that really hurts me. And it's not something that I would ever look to replace. It's not something that I would say, your dad is missing in action, so I'm going to find you a dad that will stick around. Because I believe nobody can change or replace the parent that was there or that should have been there. So I wouldn't look to say, here's your new dad. I would look to say, here is somebody that mummy loves. And I hope that you love them as I love them. That you can see this person wants to be around, that wants to spend time with you, not because they have to, but because they choose to. And that's a very, very big difference in relationships. When somebody says, you know, I'm a single parent, oh, I've got my kids this weekend, what am I going to do with them? Oh, I have to have them. This is like babysitting. It's a chore. It's something I don't want to have. You know, you can't make someone not feel that negativity. But then when somebody comes into your life who says, I would love for you to come to the park. I would love to take you guys here because I know that you would all really enjoy it. This is something you all really find fun. I know that your son loves this. I know your daughter is obsessed with this. You know, that's what melts my heart and that's what makes me think this is a human that I love and trust and respect to be around my children. And so when I see people saying, I wouldn't date a single parent because they are emotionally, you know, distraught, that they have baggage and that it's expensive to take a family out, I think, thank goodness I've never dated somebody like that. Thank goodness that they are still single and that they are not weighting down others with their negativity and small-mindedness. Brian says, God bless you, sunshine, and your family. Thank you, Brian. So yeah, I think single parents probably are given a bad name. You probably take the blame on yourself thinking that you've done something wrong to be left alone with children. You probably think, could I have been more attractive? Could I have been more attentive? Could I have done more to make a relationship work after having children? Actually, no. You are amazing to be there with children, to raise them on your own, to take responsibility when others can't, to pick up the pieces when people have ran away because they couldn't face life. You know, it's something that you deserve, the karma that you put into the world. And if you are a kind person, if you are content in your life, if you treat people the way that you wish to be treated, karma will come back around and you will find the person of your dreams. And I too have now found the person of my dreams. It's taken me until the age of 30 to actually find that balance where I know I'm in a position to say I'm open to bringing somebody into my life and into my children's life. It took a long time for me to do it, and I'm glad of that. I'm glad that I waited. I'm glad that I didn't settle for somebody that would treat me badly simply because I didn't want to be alone. And I believe we all have to hold out for what we deserve is right. You have to find someone that respects you, that loves you for who you are, and is willing to take on another man's child or another woman's child. There are people like that in the world that exist, and you have to know that it is right and it's true and it's there. Just hold on, be patient, and live your life, and the right person that deserves you will come into it. Abul Salam says, what do you think about men who look at divorced women with a different look? So I've never been divorced, but I was engaged. And I think a divorced woman, a divorced man, is not a bad thing. It's no different to being boyfriend or girlfriend with somebody. The fact that they have found commitment to call somebody their husband or wife actually shows that they are dedicated individuals, that they have gone above and beyond to show their love and dedication to somebody. So if anything, somebody who has been divorced, I do not see as a negative thing. I see that as somebody who is trustworthy and safe. You know, somebody who may not run off. The fact that they are divorced means that their relationship didn't work, but equally any relationship might not work. It's definitely not an incentive to avoid somebody. I think divorce or not, it's down to an individual and their circumstance. And I think if the person is right for you, then they're right for you regardless of their past and of their baggage, whatever you deem that to be. Children, divorce, you know, career, age, weight, size, shape, religion, beliefs. It makes no difference to me. You know, if somebody is your soulmate, you will look past these things. The obstacles that come up in life will not break you up. They will only make you stronger. So I hope that this has given you some food for thought, perhaps, from the heart and eyes of a single parent. And I hope that it will help you to be a bit more open when finding love and looking at future relationships. I think the way that you treat others speaks highly of yourself. And if people are closed-minded to treat you in that way and to have that negative opinion, then allow them to be closed-minded, because they are not the people that you would want to be around. John says, you are the most beautiful woman in the world. Thank you, John. That's very kind of you. And Jessie says, I agree with what you said. When you have kids, no matter who comes into your life, your kids can be for anyone. As I date, they are my life. And anyone waiting for the right female will come along. Yes, absolutely. What is meant to be is meant to be. And the people that come and go, they are there to teach you a lesson. They are there to show you, perhaps, different aspects of life. Maybe someone will bring you out of your shell. Maybe someone will make you more adventurous. Or they will teach you to feel your best or look your best. But if they can't stay around, if they can't be long-term, if they can't accept every aspect of your life, then take what you can from that relationship. Learn from mistakes and experiences and move forward with that. And you will pick that up for your next relationship, what you need and what you deserve and what is right for you. You have to have the highs and the lows. Oh, lost connection, guys. The highs and lows will teach you how to appreciate when you find the one that is right for you. Keith says, my thought is, if you have to put a price on love, then they don't know what love is. If they can't take baggage, then they don't deserve holidays. And if all they want is model material, they should sign up to the material page and hope that Barbie hates their kids. I think, you know, what you put in is what you get out. And a lot of people have this tick list from when they're young. You know, dating when you're 18, they think, my girlfriend is gorgeous, she's slim, she's attractive, she's amazing. And then as they get older, they can't accept somebody that has wrinkles or has imperfections, because they have this ideal in their head of their first girlfriend. She's the love of my life. She's incredible. She would have so much energy. We would go on adventures and we would party together. And I was so proud to call her my girlfriend. But actually, that very same 18-year-old at 30 doesn't have any of them attributes. Because do you know what? Age changes you. Family changes you. you're not going to be the same person. But when you look back in memories, if you say, when were you the most happiest? When were you the most in love? You will say, when I was 18, because it was first love. It was pure love. There was no imperfections or dramas. It was what it was. But that wasn't life. You don't stay a teenager your whole life. You can't live in the past. You have to live in the present and what today is. And today, you are the youngest you are ever going to be again. You have the most energy you will ever have again. You have the most opportunity you will ever have again. So make the most of it. And so just scrolling back to your comments, because I just saw a comment. Arthur says, my mother was a single mum with my half-brother when she met my father. I am my father's first child, and my dad did not adopt my brother. My brother was always mad and felt left out that my dad said he didn't adopt him because he was another man's first child. But he didn't mean any less to him. He was a part of the woman that he loved. That's a big thing. Equally, my partner has not adopted my 2 children. Sorry, I have something on my nose here. Let me just... Oh, lovely. Dry skin on my nose. Adorable. My partner has not adopted my 2 children because equally they are from past relationships and they have my name as a last name. I wouldn't expect anyone to adopt my children. I think that they have an identity that they should choose whether they would like to be named after another man or their birth fathers. Equally, if they choose to be adopted, I think that's beautiful. It doesn't make you any less of a family if you have different names and different parents. It's just something that I believe is down to the individual. Mark says, I date mothers with daughters over 21. Do you have a reason for that? Is it because they're not young children? Do you feel safer when they've had their family and now you can be together? Serve says, if a man loves a woman unconditionally, none of that matters. The love is what makes it all come together. Look at me and my wife and kids. There's a good example. I love you guys. I'll be back in Vegas today. Amazing. I don't think it makes any difference whether you have children by a past relationship or not. And I know equally, if Freddie and I have a child and it's his first child, he will be an amazing dad and he will love them. He will love a child of his own as much as he loves my own children. So thank you very much for joining me today, guys. I hope that you will continue to leave comments about this subject even after this video has ended, because I will come back and answer your questions. I love hearing your feedback, and I hope that you can see that actually it does make a difference to the world, the way that you treat others. And perhaps you've been put off dating somebody with children in the past. Perhaps you do see it as an issue that you don't feel that you can address when you're looking to find love. You can't take on somebody else's children, but actually with the right person you can. And Dean says, when I date a woman with kids, I still treat them with respect. As a single father, I expect the same. Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. I hope you will look at dating slightly differently now, and realise that, you know, we're not all going to be perfect 18-year-olds for the rest of our lives. We are going to have a life and adventures and experience and a past. But it's that past that makes us who we are today. And the most level-headed, responsible, kind, caring and selfless people that I have met are parents. And that's exactly what I am very proud to be. So thank you for joining me, and I will speak to you all soon. Take care and have a lovely day.